Our hope and prayer for this podcast is that our content will meet you right where you are and leave a spark that only God can fan based on His Word. We will give credit where credit is due when we remember. Most of our content is based on our life experiences and training, not to be substituted for the Word of God in your life.
Welcome to the Connected Heart Podcast. We are two Christian women
Here to laugh, have some fun, and engage in authentic conversations that lean into the power of connecting with God.
because thinking about God and thinking with God are not the same things.
This is Daniel, producer of the Connected Heart podcast. During the shooting of this and other episodes, we had some camera trouble, which is why at some point in this conversation, you might just get captions and audio. That being said, I really hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you for tuning in.
Welcome to the Connected Heart podcast. We're so glad you've chosen to join us, hopefully again. But if this is your first time, we're really glad to have you.
Well, today's episode is episode number 9.
Woo!
Like we're almost to 10, which was our goal.
It was.
Which will tie right in to
Episode 10.
But in episode 9, this is Christmas week. Christmas week.
I know. Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome.
I
And
love Christmas.
Yes.
It's my favorite time of year, sort of.
yes, well, sort
Most of the
yeah.
time.
So today's episode is called Christmas Chaos.
Embrace the Christmas chaos.
Yes, because
There
it's
always is.
chaos. Always chaos. Always chaos. So to start off, I just have to tell my morning walk story, even
Okay.
though it didn't happen on the walk. So Thanksgiving, this was a big year for me. I got to pass the torch to my daughter. They now have their own home, and Thanksgiving was not at my house.
What?
It was awesome. I have never been so happy in my life to pass this torch. It was really a great thing. And my daughter was all ready to receive it. And
Awesome.
she's been in training many years. So it started out. So everything was beautiful. She just did a great job. And the family roles that I would mess up at least 2 or 3 times and be so mad about it, she got first try. I'm so proud. So
It's the little thing.
it's the little things. And we had other neighbors there, and everything was great. And then you hear the scream.
What?
The scream. The dog had jumped up and knocked off the desserts, and he had eaten like 6 pumpkin tarts before he even got to the apple pie, which was upside down on the floor.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, right? So my daughter's trying. I mean, she screams, right? We all come running in, and the dog, I'm like, the ears are back, but he's like so happy. He's so happy he ate the desserts. And so, everybody's trying to console and clean up and the whole thing. And I was like, what a great memory. Like,
What's great about that is that could have been a movie made by Hollywood.
Oh, for sure. And the thing that is so funny about it, well, none of it was funny, but my daughter, I have to say, even though she looked like she was going to cry, she didn't. And like she was holding it together. And of course you feel bad. But my
Absolutely.
granddaughter said later in the week, I just really wanted that apple pie, Gigi. I just really wanted apple pie. I was like, well, we ate the pumpkin that was left. So, but I go, well, the holidays have started. Like something happens and the chaos starts.
It does.
Yes,
The chaos
yes.
always starts.
It always starts.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure there's been some chaos at your house.
Well, yeah, mainly just in my decorating.
Oh.
I love Christmas, and I have a nativity collection.
Oh.
And so I have not, for a couple of years, for various reasons, I haven't put all of that out. I've kind of had pared back. And this year, I decided to put it all out again.
Oh.
which that was good. It was
It's a
fine.
project.
Yeah, it was a project, and it is a project. It's like a 2 or 3 day decorating event when I get it all out, and it wasn't very organized anymore because I had, pulled pieces out and packed it in different boxes and all the things. And so then my husband was gonna help with the tree, and we noticed that our tree topper kind of disappeared because, we bought one of those pre-lit trees that are lit with a million lights. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
It's like 750 or some ridiculous amount, and it's really, really bright, and we can even have it change from colored lights to
Ooh,
white
you got the
lights, and
fancy
the
one.
fancy thing. And we thought it was so great when we first got it. You just snap it all together, and then we snapped it together, and one of the limbs isn't lit up. And then I was like, "We'll just put that to the back. I don't care."
Right.
And so then we have it all sitting there. It's not decorated yet, even to this day, but well, it is to this day because anyway, it's decorated now. But when we first put it up, my tree topper wasn't a lighted tree topper, and I was like, it doesn't look like there's a tree topper because the tree is so lighted.
Oh, that it drowns out the little not lit star.
Yes, and I owned a lit star, but the way the top of the tree is, there's no way to get the star to be there, right? So we had to do all these things with dowel rod and all this stuff, and we plugged in the lighted tree topper to make sure it lit, and then it did, and we get it up there, and I plug it in, and it doesn't light.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? What? After we fished the line down through the back of the
they
tree.
make movies about this.
Oh my goodness. I had to just say, baby Jesus, I'm not very happy about decorating for Christmas anymore.
I know.
So sad.
I know. Poor Sandy and the poor little baby Jesus.
I know.
That's been our line on this chaos at Christmas. We're so sorry, baby Jesus, because we don't always, where everybody's like, keep Christ in Christmas.
Well, and I have a lot of them.
I know.
Little baby Jesuses, because I have a collection.
But we have to say sorry to him a lot.
I know. Every one of them.
To this season. And I have to say, I'm being transparent that, it just wasn't always fun. And, it was fun when I was a kid.
Sure.
And when I realized everything that my mom had done.
Absolutely.
And then, the torch gets passed and you're like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That there's this much. And when I really realized that I was perhaps causing some of the chaos
or all
of the chaos, that it was kind of shocking to me.
Yeah.
It was kind of shocking to me. And, I would try all the things. But, I was really trying to put on a show, for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, I'm sorry, baby Jesus, a lot, but really trying, but just letting the chaos take it over.
Mm-hmm. Or at least we turned it into a belief that we were experiencing chaos, which maybe it was always chaotic. Maybe Christmas was always chaotic. It was chaotic when we were kids. It was chaotic when Jesus was born. I was saying that to you the other day. I was like, all those people were traveling to their birth homes.
Right.
Riding their donkeys, walking. That had to be a little chaotic.
I would think. And, for those of you that are in Texas, up in Burnett, Texas, they turn their whole town square into Bethlehem.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. It is amazing. You feel like you are in Bethlehem, and it is chaotic. I mean, they all stay in character. Everybody's running around to the shopkeepers. There's a lot of bustling, and way in the back is where Jesus is in the manger.
Yeah.
And all the chaos was still going on around when he was born.
Yes.
And then there is a small child that runs through Bethlehem, yelling, the Savior's been born. And people completely ignoring it and just going on in their lives and the chaos. And I
Wow.
thought that has stuck with me forever
Mm.
because it is so true how we can get so sucked into the chaos.
Mm. Yeah. And really, I mean, we were laughing when we came up with the title to this because we stress ourselves out. I mean, I was in a play one year and my lines were about how stressed out I was about Christmas because I didn't have the house decorated. I didn't have the Christmas cards sent. I didn't have that idea of lack, everything I didn't have. And then I didn't know whether to spend the same amount of money on each kid or have the same amount of presents,
Yeah.
because we had some traditions that I created for my children where they unwrapped presents one at a time. And so I didn't want one kid to have 3 presents and one kid to have 5, and so it was stressful.
Right.
And or was it? It wasn't all that stressful. The kid didn't care. It was like you said, me and the show. But I think about, um, why did Jesus come in the first place? Because the world was in chaos.
Chaos.
The world was separated
Uh-huh.
from the creator.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so he chose to send his son that would ultimately die so that we could have union with him once again
And peace from the chaos.
and peace. And of course, what does the angel tell the shepherds? Peace
Peace
on
on
earth,
earth,
goodwill
goodwill
toward
towards
men,
men. Yeah.
right?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, in our culture, I ask myself this when there's an event or anything. I'll think, is this a cultural thing or is
Mm,
this a biblical thing?
mm.
Which is it going to be? And so our family had the opportunity to go to um, the JW Marriott here, had this huge ice sculpture show on the Grinch that Stole Christmas. And it's the first time it was in Texas, and it was a big deal. It took these artisans 40 days to carve this ice.
What?
Oh, it was just amazing, but it was all about Whoville and the Grinch,
Yes.
and you go in, it's 9 below. They give you parkas to go in, and there's ice that you can slide down. I mean, it's very cool. It's very cool. And so and of course, we have a little one, so everybody's all excited. And I thought, wow, this is such a cultural thing. This is such a cultural event,
Okay.
although it's Christmas. And it was magnificent. And as we're going through this, there was just a little check in my spirit of, this is such a cultural thing and a movie thing. And we get to the end of it, and you go around this corner, and there is the nativity in pure glass, pure ice.
Oh
That
my.
and the sculptor was there showing you how they do it. But it was this whole room. And what got me was my judgment of this is so cultural. This is, we're losing what this is all about. And then you turn the corner, and there it was, just magnificent. Just this clear ice, just sparkling. And it was just, to me, it really kept it in check. It's like, okay, there's a balance. You can just don't forget. Don't
Mm.
forget. So we're not all staying with the Grinch saying, we're so sorry, baby Jesus.
Yeah,
But he was there.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to share that story today because I thought, as we kind of joke about the chaos, because it was chaos before. I mean, going down the slide of ice, and are you tall enough, not tall enough? And the ice was colored. It was just, it's magnificent. If you're in the San Antonio area, we get no no money for this, but it is wonderful. It's going to be through January,
That's
so it's
amazing.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I might have to go now. I
Yeah.
saw it advertised on TV, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So one of my favorite Christmas decor items that I have, and I got it years ago, it's a sculpture of Santa kneeling at the manger.
ooh, yeah,
And when you walk into my house, I have snowmen and that kind of scene right at the beginning
yeah.
before you get on in and where all my nativities are. But I have Santa right there kneeling at the manger.
Well, and that's what we tend to forget again, and we learn over the years
Yes.
that what works and what doesn't work, and not to just keep piling it on yourself and asking those questions. Am I causing this chaos? Am I causing this? And who am I trying? What's my motivation behind what I'm doing?
Yes.
What is my motivation?
Absolutely.
And who am I trying to impress?
Absolutely.
And
It
go
is
ahead.
fun though to watch your kids carry on some of the traditions and the things you established
Oh,
in your home.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean, and some of them came from practical things. Like usually we got pajamas on Christmas Eve because they always wanted to open a present. And because they always needed pajamas, it was the easy present. And they would all like, just give me my pajamas when they got to be teenagers.
Right.
What kind of pajamas did you get us this year,
Yeah.
Mom?
Yeah.
Because I know we get to open our pajamas.
Right.
But you know what? They had warm, nice pajamas and they looked good in their pictures the next day.
There you go. There
There
you go.
it
I love
is.
that. I
There
love
it
that.
is.
And the other thing that these things that happen, my son and his girlfriend's sister is an interior designer, and her Christmas tree and her front room was literally on a magazine cover.
Wow.
And I used to joke about this, about my decorations. I was like, well, it's not like Southern Living's coming in here, so just like quit worrying about it. So they were at our house first, and then they were traveling to Kentucky to her sister's house. And I pulled my son aside and I said, you listen to me. When you get in that house, don't you touch anything. Now, it's a little embarrassing to tell you that he's 31 years old. And my first reaction as his mother was, it is so nice. Don't touch anything. And he's like, are you seriously saying this to me? I go, yes. He goes, Stephen, please don't touch anything or mess anything up in that beautiful home.
How funny.
Isn't that funny? But I just thought God has such a sense of humor because I've joked about this for years. Well, it's not like we're going to be in a magazine. And then I thought, well, you can't even compete. Like, I looked back at my tree and pictures of my tree from last year. I was like, well, not so much, but it worked. So it all works out.
Now, you have to admit, the trees you have today are far better than the tree you had 20 years ago.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I
It's
mean,
kind of evolved.
it has improved
Yeah.
over time.
Yes,
I
it has.
will say.
It has.
I will say.
It has.
Now, I actually have a daughter that her house looks like, we used to call her when she was growing up, we would call her Martha Stewart,
Oh,
my youngest daughter, because she was Joanna Gaines before
she
Joanna
could turn
Gaines
it into,
existed.
yeah.
And she could turn a twig and a rock and a leaf into the most beautiful Thanksgiving centerpiece.
Yeah.
She just has the
That
touch.
gift. Yeah.
And she goes thrifting all the time. Most of her stuff comes from a thrift store, her decor. And she pulls that decor together. And I'm telling you, she should be in magazines.
Yeah.
And I always feel just a little bit, I'm just glad I have a nativity collection because
There you
I can just put all those out
Yeah.
and it fills the space. But yeah.
Well, and it's again heart condition at this time of year. And trying to remember, because I would be screaming in my head, I'm sorry, baby Jesus. But really also saying, I really want to be more reverent. And I want the meaning to really exude from our home. But I can assure you it didn't always.
Well,
But
yeah, not in our, I mean, I don't think anybody can say they perfectly go
Right.
sail through the holidays without
Right.
a moment of stress.
right.
I mean, the holidays represent a lot of different things to a lot of different people. My mom passed away December 5th,
Oh,
1995.
Yeah.
And so for years we had an extra little tree we called the grandma tree, and we
Oh,
decorated that tree in her favorite colors and some things that would remind us of her. And we had Advent ornaments, and we would read Advent devotionals together and then hang those ornaments on the grandma tree.
oh, that's beautiful, Sandy.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
But a lot of times people the holidays is a time of grieving and loss and all kinds of things. I mean, there's a myriad of experiences that people go through for the holidays, and so for everybody, it might not be their favorite holiday,
Right, right.
right?
And it's really taking that pause to
Mm,
step away. I know that's what has helped me in the midst of the chaos of just taking a moment, stepping away, whether to the moms out there, whether it's running in the bathroom, closing the door, and just breathing and asking, Lord, you know, help help me settle down, help me stay focused on what this is really about. Help me be a better example um of with my reaction to
mhm.
things.
All right. Well, we had to take a quick break for a technical break, but we're back.
We are
And so
back.
let's wrap up our Christmas chaos
Chaos, yes.
episode. Whether we have the chaos of trying to live up to the magazine cover,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Or we have some other reason that Christmas feels chaotic to us or disjointed or maybe just not our favorite time of year. Um, I want to make sure that people know this one thing. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
the
the first Christmas was quite simple,
Yeah,
quite humble.
that's right.
And so all the things we try to do,
Yeah. It's really asking ourselves, I want to encourage people that, ask yourself, is this 100% necessary? Who am I doing this for?
yeah.
Who am I doing this for?
And will this add joy
Right.
to our holiday season or
Yeah.
will it add
Stress.
stress and
That's
chaos?
right. And that it's okay to step back. It's okay to step back. And well, Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas to you. And whether the top of my tree lights or doesn't light, it's going to be a fabulous day.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.